Good day, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Current blood sugar as we sit stands at 12.5. My pump's corrections have done quite a bit. We started at 14 and we've started to come down. Time in range. Current time in range is sitting at 84%, which is actually fairly good. 16% is above right now. We're trying to get that down. 84% is in range. 0% low, below 3.9. And average sugar is 7.9. All in all, pretty good. I don't know why I'm doing that. There, that's better. Today's video, we're going to discuss a low, the aftermath. Doesn't that sound like a great series? The low and aftermath. But we're going to discuss what it's like after a severe low. So grab your coffee, your tea, pop, hot chocolate, whatever you like. And we'll be right back with the beginning. Okay. When you have a severe low, and I'm talking about when you need help from someone else, that's pretty well what they're classifying as a low, a severe low, is when you're unable to get help. So if you call 911 on the phone or computer or whatever, that's a severe low. I can remember having a low where I was sort of still with it, but I couldn't get up out of the floor by my bed, and I text a neighbor, and they came and got help for me, and really kind of lifted me up, got me on the bed. They called for an ambulance. I was kind of iffy on whether I needed an ambulance or not, but they came out and took care of things. That, in technical viewpoint, was a severe low. And the next day is what we're going to discuss. The next day, I did not feel well. It was sort of like my whole mind was foggy. If I was working, it would be a kind of day. If I went in, it wouldn't have been for long. I always seem to have this. Now, if I had a low like I had where my hand went numb, I then had a migraine and revisited meals, the next day was a complete write off. There was no way in the world I was going in. And I think most diabetics kind of know that sort of feeling, and it's hard to call in and say, I had a severe low blood sugar last night. I don't feel well in coming in. I guess I could have used my real phone for that. But a lot of employers will really give you pressure about that. And up till recently, I never really questioned that. I just thought if I had a severe low, I would and started to feel like crap the next day. That was just something I was going to have to live with. And it wasn't great. How do I feel? Well, I mentioned it. I feel foggy in the brain. My body feels very tired. Like I have to have a nap. Could be. I just want to have a nap. I got you. But that's how I feel. That's sort of the best way. You really feel like the last day of cold or flu where you're just not with it. I couldn't really, because of the fogginess, I can't really concentrate. So I really wasn't going to get any work done. So I would save my sick days for days I was really sick. They're not, I never took them as sort of extra days off because I knew once I used my allotment, that was it. I wasn't going to get any more, which kind of shocked me when I was having problems with my kidney. And I was in the office, I was office staff at that point, and I sent my superior the findings, and he and the personnel manager arranged for me to have time off to recuperate, which was it was sort of like short-term disability, but boom. That's why in my disability chat, I mentioned that you may be able from employers to take short-term disability to deal with your blood sugars. But again, it should only be used rarely. But keeping your blood sugars normal is the best bet. If you're always having lows, you're a little too low. Right now, I'm having lows of what they're considered being low right now. But I'm not below 3.9. So that's a plus. I'm still low as needed to be treated. I have to call the nurse, and those type of lows where I'm okay, like I'm still 4.5 is considered a low for me. Anything I'm below 6, I'm okay. I'm able to treat. We're okay. I need to tell a nurse, but that's about it. If I go below 3.9 is when I get this feeling the next day. And this is again being very tired, very foggy. Usually by that time, my low migraine, if I had one, has dissipated, and I'm just kind of, it's hard to explain, but you're not right. It's usually the day after that is when I can get up, I can get back to work, do the best. Luckily, the company I worked for many years is if I can't work, I didn't have to find someone else to fill my shift. I would just call in, they'd say okay. Usually we just take the day off. But so much we didn't do. The aftermath can just be as bad as the low. The aftermath sort of comes on the moment they bring you up out of a low, and you're kind of sitting there going, or you come up. It used to be me in the younger days about punching and kicking because you don't know where you are. And I remember I did punch an ambulance attendant once, and then after I had to apologize. And it wasn't it wasn't a real. It was like just didn't know where I was, and I really didn't feel right after. I was taken to the hospital. They watched me for a bit, then they sent me home, and I just went to bed. I kind of stayed low the whole next day, and then I was able to get to work. But if you're having more than one of these every 6 months, then you have probably the ideal thing is you want zero. You want to make sure that your blood sugars are high enough to be above 3.9 or below 10, but check with your doctor to discover whether you're being that good or are you bad. But the kind of ironic thing that always have got to me was all this time they kept saying, oh, you have to get your blood sugars down. You have to get your blood sugars down. Now my latest is 5.5 hemoglobin A1C, and now they're saying, oh, you're doing too well. We have to cut back. What I found works to help me get over this low aftermath is first thing when I get up, I take aspirin and I drink a lot of water. So much that you're sort of peeing and you're eating the sensible diets. Even though you may still not feel like eating, you should be eating. Sorry, guys. But you want to keep your body up there. And I think that's what's helped me get over in a day. If you're still having problems, you need to contact your endocrinologist. When my diabetes lows started to be a problem, I had a week, which I called a week from hell. I think it was a Tuesday night. I had a low blood sugar. I went home. The next day was okay because I did everything sensible. The next day after that, I had another low, recovered, and then had the third. It was kind of like revolving. And the third time there, we finally got a hold of my endocrinologist. And he came up with a plan. And that's pretty much the one I said about taking aspirin, drinking a lot of water, following your diet. Just because that works for me does not mean, oh, that's all I have to do. No. Check with your own doctor. Find out what sort of game plan he or she wants you to follow. Because remember, we're all different, and so is our treatments. With that, we're going to call it a day. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye now. My email address is Mike's Diabetes World at gmail.com. All one line. Drop me